Hi, sir. Are prophecies that fail proof of false prophets?
Are prophecies that fail proofs of false prophet? Yes and no. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 21 tells us that when a prophet gives a word and it doesn't come to pass, he's likely a false prophet. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15 to 20 alludes to that in some form. But it's important for you to understand that they are conditional prophecies. They are word of knowledge, they are word of wisdom that God will, especially as it relates to foretelling, that God will send a man to give to you, and it has conditions attached to it. God said concerning the children of Eli that they will not continue in his presence forever, contrary to the prophetic word that had been given to that family or to that tribe. Why? Because they were in violation of the ordinances of the Lord, so that word could not continue. And subsequently, if the descendants read the initial prophecy and did not understand the premise upon which that prophecy did not continue with them, they would think that the person that gave them that word was false. However, when a prophecy falls to the ground, it's important for us to first and foremost evaluate the character and the life of the man who brought the prophetic word forward. Is this man truly a believer? Is his character in accordance with the fruits of Christ? Because even as a young prophet or as a prophet that is developing, there are times when, and understand that prophecy in the Old Testament and the New Testament are different. In the Old Testament, men, their vocal cords were completely taken over by God, and their words were in exact form that it came. In the New Testament, it is inspired, and so there is a participation of their humanity in their delivery. And based on certain sentiments and prejudices, it is possible for their emotions to tint the word that is coming from them and causing a misalignment of some sort. So it's important for us to understand that the fact that a word did not come to pass does not mean the man is a false prophet. It can be a growing prophet, it can be a learning prophet, and prophets can miss God. So Samuel stood in the house of Jesse and called Eliab the will of God. Does that make Samuel a false prophet? It simply means that his humanity jumped in front of the operation of the gift. And if he wasn't sensitive enough to hear what God was now saying afterwards, people would have thought he was a false prophet. And so the prophet is a man, and it is possible for his head to get ahead of the spirit, the leading and the promptings of the spirit. So not every time is a word from a prophet not coming to pass. Not every time does it make him a false prophet. But more than anything else, what makes a false prophet is fruits. All right? And yes, on the level of fruits, you can easily see that. But there are some that are become professional craftsmen in theatrical performances. So they know that we'll be looking out for their fruits. So they'll do activities of love, sharing money in front of camera, and bringing people out in front of camera and distributing food to them. So those acts of kindness would demobilize the discernment of babies in the Lord. But the very act that your kind act is brought into the public is a contradiction to the injunction of the scriptures. That what your right hand is doing, don't let your left hand know. In that case, we begin to query your motive that such things are done in the open. But more than anything else, you need to look at their character, and then you need discernment. And the elders in the body of Christ would easily know if those elders are in alignment with the Lord.